Okay, I'm going to read today Sadie the Squawking Squirrel. And it is written by Robbie McMahon and is illustrated by Susan McMahon. Sadie the Squawking Squirrel. Sadie the Squawking Squirrel sat on a low-lying limb of the larch tree and made that terrible sound that very cross squirrels make. It sounds like screaming, choking, and clearing your throat all at the same time. It was a beautiful day. The sun was warm. The grass was a brilliant green. But Sadie didn't notice. She was too busy squawking at the animals on the forest floor. "You crazy chipmunk," Sadie squawked. "That's not how you play soccer." The chipmunks were throwing the ball and using their heads to push it around the field. They'd get dizzy, trip over their own feet, fall down laughing, and get up hugging. This made Sadie mad. She had a book on the complete rules of soccer somewhere. Sadie had never played soccer, but she was sure hugging had nothing to do with the game. Sadie looked at the birds. They were hopping around on the dewy grass by the pond, looking for juicy worms. "You'd better watch out," Sadie squawked. "A cat will get you down there, you crazy birds." Crazy birds, Sadie thought. They eat worms, and that's gross. They should eat acorns and nuts. It's much better for you. "You're gonna have a stroke eating those." The birds didn't pay attention to Sadie, but the birds didn't pay Sadie much attention. Unfortunately, no one paid much attention to Sadie because she was always squawking at somebody. It was easier to say, "Oh well, that's just Sadie," and go on about your business. Sadie was just about to give some advice to 3 rabbits napping in the sun when a big owl flew up, sat on a limb next to her. "Just look at those silly rabbits," Sadie said to the owl. "They are gonna get fur cancer." "You know, Sadie," hooted the owl softly, "it won't be long until winter comes. How is your acorn pantry looking?" "Who has time for that?" squawked Sadie crossly. "I have to be out here on this limb telling these crazy animals what they're doing wrong. They're messing everything up. If they'd straighten up, I could look after my acorn pantry." "Are you making any progress getting the other animals to straighten up?" asked the owl. "No," said Sadie sadly. "They never listen to me. Nobody ever listens to me." After a minute, the owl said, "Sometimes the best way to help others is to work on being better yourself." Sadie looked down. She had never thought of that before. Sadie started to ask the owl what she was doing out in the middle of the daytime. Owls were supposed to be sleeping after all. When Sadie looked up, the owl had vanished. Odd, thought Sadie. I didn't even hear a wing beat. Sadie the Squawking Squirrel thought about the owl's strange visit for days, pausing occasionally to fuss at a fox to berate a bear. But the leaves had turned to fire and the ground was littered with the plumpiest, brownest acorns and pecans you ever saw. "I'll just have one," thought Sadie. "Then jump back up here and give some advice to that distracted duck." Sadie didn't stop with just one nut, though. It felt so good just to do what squirrels do. Sadie forgot all about instructing the ducks and the birds and the chipmunks. By the time the first snowflakes began to fall, her hollow tree was filled to the top with nuts. Sadie had been so happy being a squirrel and doing what squirrels do, there hadn't even been time to squawk. All the animals in the forest appreciated that, especially the big owl, who was getting more sleep now than she'd had in months. The end.